Right? Good. Who's read Dueling Dragons? Which is now the Dragon Challenge, right? Who wrote it before? It was Harry Potter. Okay. When you're walking up, when it was Dueling Dragons, you're walking up into the castle and the queue has trees. Mm-hmm. Did you look up and see what was in the trees?
I don't know if I remember it that well. I was like 12.
I think they still have them. I'll check when I'm down there. There were bells in the trees. Anybody remember seeing bells in the trees? Probably not. Why were there bells in the trees? Any dragonologists in here? My son was really big into dragons. He may not probably even know this. Why were there bells in the trees?
Keep dragons away.
Yes, or keep dragons in. What do bells and dragons have in common? Or what's the deal with bells and dragons?
Are they because they're shiny?
No. No, just the opposite, actually. If you know anything about dragon physiology, I know dragons are not real, but theoretically, their muscle mass is so dense that if you hit the right frequency, you can break a dragon. Kind of like the opera singer with the glass hits the right note, and the glass breaks. Theoretically, the same thing would happen with dragons. So that's why whenever dragons attack a town, they ring the bell to try to scare the dragon away. Now, again, all of you that ever went to Universal probably never even saw the bells in the tree. Maybe 1 out of 100 people. And maybe 1 out of those 100 people knew about the bells. That's how detailed the theming is. People that build theme parks are obsessed with getting the theming right. All the way down, you guys know about the hidden Mickeys? Right? It is an obsession with them. And again, Carowinds, God love them, wonderful people. They say we're a theme park. No, they're not. They're an amusement park. So you say, Professor Smith, what's your method? What is the Smith method, and I'll call this the Smith method, of determining whether you're an amusement park or a theme park? And before I answer that, I want to ask you a question. Who's been on Space Mountain? Who loves Space Mountain? All right? It's a great roller coaster, isn't it? It is a wonderful roller coaster. How fast does Space Mountain go? Take a guess. 70? Okay. I got 70.
45.
45.
35.
40.
28 miles per hour. Some of you who are late for class walk faster than 20. The tram in the parking lot that takes you from your car to the front goes faster than Space Mountain. So, why am I telling you this?
It's like so atmospheric that it feels like you're going faster.
It's the theme. Space Mountain is a wonderful attraction because of the thing. What do they have that is just wonderful? It makes you love Space Mountain. Vortex you go through, yep.
You can see it before you get there, like the people already on it. That's what I remember.
Yeah, you can see them up and riding the rockets.
Yeah, like already before you walking there.
The dark. Just by being in the dark, I think I'm going 50 miles an hour. Yeah, you're only going 28. You're probably not even going 20, right? Because it hits 28 at one point. And the darkness, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, we're flying. All right? What else? What else is cool about Space Mountain?
They have fans up below you.
Okay. They do actually have fans in there.
Like the ride you're in is actually like a spaceship.
Yeah, the vehicles, the rockets. Music. They got that new age music. Does anybody know about the speed tunnel? When you first go down there, you're actually going about 15 miles an hour, but the lights are going like this, so you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going so fast, all right? So this is what I said. If you took the theming elements out of Space Mountain and just had the ride vehicle, the roller coaster, it'd be the lamest roller coaster in the world. you wouldn't wait 5 minutes to ride it, right? If it was outside and it was just as a roller coaster, you wouldn't wait 5 minutes for it. But you add in all the theming elements, and this is done on purpose. You add in all the theming elements, the darkness, the music, the meteors going on the ceiling and all that. It makes it into one of the best attractions in the world, hands down. And so that's kind of the Scott Smith litmus test. If you took all the theming elements out of a park, would people still come to the degree that they do now? So let's take Magic Kingdom first, okay? Magic Kingdom, definitely a theme park. If you took all the theming elements out, all the characters, all the stories, all the architecture, and just had the rides themselves, the rides and the ride vehicles, would that be enough to bring people into the degree that they go now? The answer is absolutely not. Be the lamest park in the world, right? Big Thunder Mountain, how fast does it go? 34 miles per hour. Really, the only thrill in the Magic Kingdom is the drop on Splash Mountain. What if you get past that, there's really nothing, that's thrilling. Okay? But they add in all the theming elements. So, now, back to Carowinds. If you took out all the theming elements, would anybody even notice? The answer is no. Why do people go to Carowinds?
Fast rides.
The fast rides. It's what it really comes down to. The fast rides. Yes, their coasters are themed, but if they change the name of the coaster tomorrow, which they've done many times, you wouldn't even notice. Right? So although they say they're a theme park, and I love them, and they're a great amusement park, the Fury 325, my new favorite ride, my new favorite roller coaster, okay? But it's an amusement park, okay? So this really brings me now to, so here you go, theme parks aim to create an atmosphere of another place and time. All right? They have one dominant theme around which architecture, landscaping, costume persons, ride shows, food service, and merchandise are all coordinated. What is the theme of the Magic Kingdom? What's the theme? What's the one dominant theme? I know, I stumped the panel here.
Magic.
You actually are absolutely correct. It's a Magic Kingdom. Where else could you have cowboys and astronauts and European village, small world, all in one area? It has to be a Magic Kingdom. That's the dominant theme. Yes, sir.
Would like Epcot be a theme park?
Yes. It's an experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Yeah. Epcot, again, I could talk hours about this. Actually, Epcot is the evolution of the World's Fair. It is really it's a permanent World's Fair, or at least when it was built, it was designed, that's exactly how they designed it. We're going to build a permanent World's Fair. So that's kind of the theme. Okay, so I'm going to take you to where is it? Okay. This is the Scott Smith edutainment scale. People pay a lot of money to hear exactly what you're going to hear. I've been a consultant several times for attractions, and this is how I always start. Okay. This is how you can build a successful attraction or theme park. And that, about $1 billion. Okay. I have a theory. In order to be successful, you have to put yourself on the edutainment scale at a certain point, all right? Before I get to it, I want to talk about this side of it. I'm going to rename this, actually. but for right now, we'll call it the edutainment scale. When we say entertainment, we really mean visceral thrills. Things that are adrenaline, right? Skydiving, fast roller coasters, things that get your adrenaline going. So we should call this adrenaline producing. Visceral thrills, right? And on this side is the education. I would rename that, I'm going to rename that to cerebral activity, the mind. Things happening in the mind, okay? And so, has anybody ever gone to a theme park, let's say Carowinds or Six Flags, right? Well, let me just take a step back. In order to be successful in business, you need repeat customers. Period. Anybody want to argue about that? You got to keep them coming back. All right? Has anybody ever walked out of an amusement park and said, wow, I feel so much smarter. I learned so much today. The answer is no. You might be actually a little bit stupider because you killed some brain cells on like some really bad rides. Okay? Who's been to Six Flags before? All right? How many days in a row did you go to Six Flags?
Just one.
Just one. Why didn't you go back? Second, third day?
Because I already rode all the rides.
You're exactly right. Here's what happens. When it comes to limbic system thrills, you ride the roller coaster the first time, you're like, yeah, it's cool, yeah. You ride it the second time, yeah, it's pretty cool. You ride it the third time, yeah, fourth time, yeah, okay. Let's do something else. It's not as thrilling anymore. And so, I mean, you know, I love amusement parks. But I'll go to some amusement parks and I'll like halfway through the day, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I've ridden everything. You know? So does that facilitate repeat business? The answer is no. All right? On this side, museums. Right? Who's gone to like, anybody been to the Smithsonian Museum? Right? Did you come out of